Hello and welcome to this very brief review of Red Dwarf XI. The series has now finished on TV, so I thought I'd review it as a whole. After I've done that, I'm going to break it down to each episode of the 6 and talk about each one individually, bits I liked, bits I didn't like, and lastly I'll do a review of what my favourite and least favourite episode of the series was. This series was very different to Series 10. Whereas Series 10 had the sort of slower themes reminiscent of maybe Series 1 and 2, this series was back up to full action mode, great comedy, hilarious character arcs, great story arcs, and great addition to characters within the show. Meeting Danny John Jules a few weeks ago, he agreed that this series was definitely more action based and apparently the cast prefer filming this sort of thing rather than just wandering about on Red Dwarf itself. We saw more of Starbug this time, which I thought was great, but it was sort of evened out with the amount of Red Dwarf we saw as well. And there was some great scenes in there. They've edited the set again, which I really liked. There's a lot of blues going on now, blue lighting, some dark lighting, some lighter lighting. So yeah, it's definitely more sci-fi feel now. So taking a look at our list of episodes, we had Twentica, Samsara, Give and Take, Officer Rimmer, Crisis, and Can of Worms. Let's start off from the top. Number 1, Twentica. This was a really good episode and a great start to the series. Red Dwarf's always done time travel well. This is no difference from that. I will say that the CGI is so much better than it used to be. It's a whole world of better. And the simulants were hilarious as well. And Bob the Bum was just a masterpiece. It was a stroke of genius once again from Doug Naylor. Absolutely fantastic episode, loved it, great start. Samsara was an interesting episode. It didn't solely focus on the characters that we know and love. It introduced 2 new characters who went through this ordeal on the Samsara, and the crew of Red Dwarf are now just learning about what happened. It's one of those episodes where we're seeing one of those trips that we may not have seen previously. Felt a bit slower because there wasn't any actual action going on apart from a knife in Cat's foot. Spoiler alert, sorry. But it was still funny all the same, and I enjoyed it as well. Cat is a selfish being. So when Lister asks for his kidneys, or a kidney, well, he's obviously going to say no, but it posed an interesting question of would he actually donate? And in the end, the answer was no. They had to trick him. I thought the robot, the psychopath robot, was chilling to look at and really quite freaky, which was really good because it was proper sci-fi. Real action, great action, and very funny as well. Enjoyed it. Rimmer has had the hope and dream of becoming an officer for many years. So when he cowardly destroys an engine, sending another ship off course, saving the life of a captain who's been printed out but it's gone wrong, which, by the way, hilarious, physically to look at, hilarious, and just the idea was great. He gets promoted in the field. Then having lots of Rimmers about, that was funny. And then the Rimmer monster at the end, it was predictable, but it was good all the same, and I particularly liked the little graphic of him going round like Pac-Man. I couldn't help but feel sorry for Crichton in Crisis. Going through this midlife crisis was quite funny. This was a very slow episode though for me. Though the humour was amazing and hilarious, it was a lot slower going. The introduction of the other character, who you loved him but you sort of hated him because he was better than Crichton, that was like really good as well. The red, I mean, just him coming in like a Ferrari was hilarious. So this episode stood out for me early on, but definitely slow. Lastly, I guessed correctly that there would be a polymorph in this series, just watching the intro with Lister fighting off a pineapple. I mean, if you've watched Red Dwarf ever, you should be able to notice a polymorph in anything. So, loved this episode. Bringing back the polymorph was hilarious. Taking away Lister's emotions was hilarious. And Cat giving birth to all these baby polymorphs, and then the really cute polymorphs. And then, it was a very, very, very well-tuned, great episode, and I really enjoyed it. So, which were the demons and angels of this episode? Get the reference. Well, I'd say that Crisis is the demon. It was too slow in this series, and felt a little out of place. Maybe it should have been in Series 10, though it was very funny. I thought, possibly not the best. Though I thoroughly enjoyed all of the episodes, including Crisis, I think the standout one was Can of Worms, just because bringing back the polymorph was a masterstroke, and the audience's reaction when they said, "It's a polymorph," it was as if we'd come full circle. It really was great. And that is it. That is the end of the series. It was a really good series, no matter what I've said in this video. All the episodes were great, but tonally, more action works better. The ratings are up, I think, which is a good sign for Series 12, and I look forward to it next year. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're new, and do like the video. Bye bye.